The internet cut up, caught up. Wow, words caught up right at the end. I have like a little meter that tells me how well my internet is with the website that we use. And the whole time it went through the first time, it was red. And then it went through the second time, I re-looped it to see if it would like catch up, And it was like an orange, like red, orange, red. And then it was like hosted by or created by whatever words I freaking put on the screen at the end. And then it went green, and I was like, that felt very Jewish, like Mazel Tov. I don't know. So I swear, it's not always like Jenna's laughing at me. Um, it's not always like this. If you're a first time viewer, we usually try to get that thing sorted out beforehand. But also, if you're a first time viewer or if you're a returning viewer, they can tell the first time viewers that my internet here has been very weird the last couple weeks. So we're working with what we got. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm so glad that you did this week. If it's your first time, hello. My name is Riley J. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm super excited that you're joining us. Regardless how you're watching, feel free to put in the comments and how you're doing tonight because that is something I always like to know. I always like to know how you're doing, how your week's been, good week, bad week, and you're also welcome to elaborate. Evening Vibes, we create a little community for everyone to just kind of, share how they're doing and how they're feeling. So that's what I like about this show is that we're creating a community to just be yourself and be honest about what's going on in the world. I know for me personally, sorry, I'm looking at comments a little different. You also notice that I'm in a different space. For me personally, this week has been nuts. I'm not ready to go into detail and talk about it quite yet. So if you're in that same boat of like you're not ready to talk about what you're going through, that's cool too. Respect. But yeah, it's been an insane week. So much so that I'm in a new space in my house without a spot to put my backdrop. So you get a little homey feeling tonight with with a window to our front lawn. Um, so it's time to be had. I'm also wearing a hat instead of getting to do my hair. It's life is rough, but we're here, and I'm excited to be here. Super excited that I have my oldest, best. I don't know if oldest is the right word. Oldest sounds like she's old, which is not because she's younger than me. So longest best friend, is that the word? Probably. I don't know. We go way back. We've been best friends since not the womb, but the womb of me being me, I guess you could say. Um, I'm just looking at what everyone's up to. Oh my goodness, we have so many people joining us. Hi everyone. Hi Julie. Oh, so many birthday wishes. Thank you guys. Yeah, if you don't know, my birthday is this weekend. So, we're doing everything we can to celebrate, considering that quarantine's happening in the world, but we're doing what we can. Unfortunately, I won't get to visit my parents like I thought I was going to, but you know, that's why technology exists, right? Em said I had stats today and tomorrow. Ugh. Well, that's right. You're a senior. Did I even take stats? Like, not stats, but SATs. Sorry. It read as stats in my brain. SATs. Ugh. That sounds awful. I don't know. Maybe Jenna knows if I took those. Hi, everybody. Thank you. All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to bring on my best friend since, I don't know, like middle school. I don't know. We're going to talk about it because my memory as I get older doesn't even remember how long I've known her. But anyway, everyone, please welcome to screen all the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan, my best friend, Jenna Walker.
Hello!
Hi.
That was the best introduction I think I've ever had. Oldest, best, longest, most. All the things.
All the things. I mean, that's kind of what our friendship has become, just all the things.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
So how are you today, Jenna?
I'm all right. We're midway through the week, officially. So.
Yeah. Do you want to give a little intro of yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Jenna. Hi, hello. My pronouns are she, her, hers. Um, Riley kind of touched on it, but I've known Riley since middle school. Yes, middle school.
Okay, that's what I
I had to think
thought.
about it too for a second. um, and now, like Riley said, I live in Grand Rapids. Well, I've always lived in Grand Rapids, but so from the west side. And right now, I am just, being an adult, living life. Currently, I have two jobs, as why not? So, so my full-time job, I work at Priority Health Insurance in their customer service area. And then I also work part-time as a worship leader at Wyoming Park United Methodist Church. So getting some use out of my music degree.
Are either of those in person? Or are they both virtual?
Yes. So I did work from home for quite a while, March through about mid-August. And then just recently I started going into the office again for my full-time job because my internet is crappy, which hopefully doesn't prove itself tonight. um, and then for my church job, we just recently started coming back to in-person worship, like alternating every other week between virtual and in person. And so we're going to keep doing that and see where we're at with that. So yeah.
So you're just living all kind of lives over there.
Yes. You could say that, yeah.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, I was born and raised in Grand Rapids. I actually only moved to Ypsi full time in 2016. So I've been here 4 years full time. But I started Eastern Michigan University in 2013. And you went to.
I went to Central Michigan University. Fire up chips.
So we always tried to see each other at like our rivalry games, and then we were both like musical theater music worlds. So that actually
Yeah.
never happened because we were just always booked with our actual degree.
Yeah.
It was like, you're coming to my school, and I was like, no, I'm at rehearsal for the 100th thing that I'm a part of.
Sorry, I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah, I know. It's cool to see who's all here, and is there anyone you want to give shout outs to that you see?
I see my Uncle Dick is watching. Hi, Uncle Dick. I'm assuming my Aunt Lori is watching with him. My family friend Kim is watching. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Cam. So, what I want to do with this show, since I was like, I mean, I have to let myself be selfish with my own show, is instead of using this week to where I normally am having people kind of like talk about like their craft or talk about like their businesses that they're like working on or something, I wanted to talk about me. and but also the person in my life that like knows me probably the best beyond my mom and dad, and my mom will make sure everyone knows that in the comments that she actually knows me the best. but just someone that I've known for a long time, because all we were talking before the show, my audience that I bring to the show know me because of Ipsy. They know me because
Mm-hmm.
of Boylesque, and they know me because of drag, but they don't know pre that. They don't know anything else about me except what I've told them. So I wanted to bring someone on the show that could be like, no, Riley was not always this way, or Riley always was this way, and you're welcome, you get to have him. So I have, for everyone's viewing pleasure, a time
Oh,
capsule
great.
of photos that I picked of me and Jenna collectively. I told Jenna I would get her permission before the show, and then I ran out of time. So hopefully they're all good with her. And if there's any, she
We'll
can just
see.
be like, she'll be like, I hate you. And
No, never.
So I kind of wanted to go. Of course, I didn't upload them chronologically, but I wanted to go as chronological.
Chronologically?
Yes, is that not the word?
Chronologically?
See, that's part of our friendship. Is I half the time I say the wrong word. So I think the best place to kind of start. Well, we obviously we met in middle school,
Yes.
but we didn't actually meet within the school. like like
No.
like when we say middle school, it wasn't because like, oh, we had like lunch together. it,
No.
it was because we went to camp together, and I wish I had like whenever the first time we ever went to camp, which I don't.
Oh
But
God, I hope you don't.
that was a time to be had. But I'm there's just so many
Speaking of
memories to
camp,
learn.
Susan says hi, Riley and Jenna from Patrick.
Susan, we're gonna get to you. Don't even sweat, because you're just a big part of our friendship. But I do have like some camp photos of other camp times, even though they're not like the first ever.
Hmm.
But we're gonna start with something like simple, and just I guess I should also put out there, because we do. What is happening with my hand? Okay, since we do have viewers that have viewed past shows, because a lot of these photos that you and I have, we actually don't have that many recent photos because I moved.
I
So a lot of
know.
so a lot of these photos, for people that don't know, hi, I'm trans. and and our friendship did not start with me being me. I identified as a girl, I identified under a whole different slew of identity. So just want to throw it out so people aren't like, where is that person in this picture? Even though I still have some of the same facial features. But anyway, so I want to start with this one because it also involves someone that's had a key part into our friendship.
Aww.
Yes. So this is from camp, one of the camps that we were
Oh my
part of.
gosh. I don't even remember what year that was.
I couldn't tell you. I can tell you we thought those fedoras were cool as shit though.
I know. We got those. We both got them on Mackinac Island, didn't we?
We
I got mine
did.
on Mackinac.
Yeah, we got them. I think we got
Okay,
them
yes.
together.
Okay, I couldn't remember if that was the case, but yes, we did get them together.
Yes, and in the middle is I think it's safe to say our first encounter ever with someone who could easily fit himself into the drag community.
Yes. Oh my God.
we
Oh,
have we
Nick.
have, we have baby Nick in the middle, who wears the most amazing heels and the most amazing
Yes.
dresses just on a daily occasion. It doesn't even have to
Yeah.
like be for any reason. He's just always
Mm-hmm.
looking in the nines. I
Yes.
haven't seen him. I have not seen Nick in I don't even know how long. Have you seen Nick within like the past like 3 years?
Yes. I got Nick. This is bad because I don't remember how long ago it was, but Susan and Patrick's anniversary party. They had a Star Wars themed anniversary party,
Right.
but of course Nick showed up in his Cinderella dress because it was a costume party. It didn't have to be Star Wars, so he came in his Cinderella dress. We have pictures together from that night.
This I wish we could like have a night of like a reunion, and like we had like Susan in one box, Nick in one box, you in one box, and me in one box. And
Yes.
like I don't think it I thought about it, asking her to do tonight, but I thought it would just be all three of us laughing for an hour and screaming. And I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I should introduce you guys one at a time, and then we'll all do a show together so people understand like our friendship. But
Yes, I love that idea.
yeah, oh my goodness. So speaking of
Julie
Mackinac,
says, "Look at those youngins."
yes. So speaking of Mackinac, I have this picture from Mackinac. This was the only one that came up in the archives of us together, though. I feel like
Oh wow.
we have a lot of pictures of us from Mackinac,
Yes.
but this was the one. This is the only one that came up in the archives. It must be where this is the only one we're both tagged in together.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so we were on the forensics team in high school.
Yes.
And at the end of the school year ish, like spring area, we got to go to Mackinac for a weekend. and it was just a ball. This is our friends Ashley and Elijah, also in the picture.
Yes.
I, of course, am in plaid and jeans and a Spider-Man shirt. That was my peak aesthetic before I realized I was trans.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. We found like this field. I don't remember where on the island that was taken, but
So I went to Mackinac Island with my partner Jaden last summer, and we found it again because I was like, you don't understand. Like this, like all of our pictures from Mackinac are either from the Grand Hotel or this spot. So I was like, we have
yes.
to find that spot. So I just need you to understand like why this spot was so cool. And it's like it's one of the forts. We finally found it at one point. It's one of the forts, and it's one of the highest
Okay.
points
Yeah.
on the island.
Oh my gosh.
So during like the war over Mackinac, one of the forts were like here.
Yes.
So
Okay. It's ringing a bell.
yeah. So,
Fun fact, the sweatshirt that Elijah is wearing in that picture, he
mhm.
left it at my house once, and my mom still wears it sometimes.
Yes. Oh my god.
He never came back for it.
I'm dead. Oh Elijah. I miss him. He is a ball of
Oh,
sunshine. If I ever get to have him on the show, he's living like the theater kid dream. That fucker.
mm-hmm.
He's out living his life in New York City. I
Yes.
mean, he's in quarantine in New York City, but he was living the dream in New York City. So I hope I get to have
Mm-hmm.
him on the show sometime.
Yeah.
Cause
He and my best friend from college are roommates.
aw, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Let's see where should I go next? Let's go. So it's just because it's next on the list. There's no more timeline because I don't know the timeline, but this is next on the list. Um, this was our first main stage show.
Oh, Steve!
That's our pals Steve and Elena Rarig. Elena, who freaking travels the world, going to
I know.
Ethiopia. But yeah, we were our first main stage show at Grand Rapids Civic Theater, Night of the Living Dead,
Yes.
and Susan directed it. That you're hearing a lot of our friends, and she's also in the comments under Patrick's account on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she directed Night of the Living Dead, and she loved. I don't even words are escaping me. Do you have better words for the audition process of what happened?
Yes. Well, so I think they were two separate auditions. Like one audition was for like the named characters, so, like the normal people, and then there was entirely separate audition for the zombies because it's Night of the Living Dead, and basically she was like, "You're a zombie, go," and just let people like do their thing and see like how they were how they like styled their zombie and like what their interpretation was. So it was really fun to see. And it was just it was just really funny. Like I felt bad if people were like trying to have rehearsals or something because obviously you have to make noise when you're a zombie. So it was
Yep.
just like groaning and screaming and just all get out. It was so fun.
Yeah, and well, what got us our role in Night of the Living Dead?
Oh
So
yes.
we weren't like people that got to live. We weren't people that were dead. We weren't zombies. No, the three of us, the three like younger people you see in the picture, so not Steve. Um, three of
That
us
would have
were
been funny if Steve was a plant.
yes. So the three of us were plants in the audience, and we sat through the entire show, every single rehearsal, and every single night. And we got that role because during auditions, we had to distract the people auditioning as zombies to see if they could stay in character.
Mm-hmm.
And Susan found us so hilarious that instead we get to sit in the audience for how long was the show? Like 2 hours, something like
Yeah,
that.
around that. Yeah.
And at the end of the show, the zombies go to like attack the audience, and the three of us just scream. And that was our line. And that was our first main stage role at Grand Rapids Civic Theater, screaming.
I still brag about it to this day.
Yes. I think the only flaw is that we shouldn't have been credited because only with like at least with a picture because there were people that like called me
That's
out.
true.
They were like I would have like old women sitting next to me with like their program and they'd be like
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the people I sat next to didn't notice till after the fact, and then they'd be like, "Why are you screaming?" And then they'd like look at their program and they'd be like, "Oh!"
I'm so sorry.
Like,
I used a theater term. I The theater term was plant. Someone said I thought you meant a shrubbery. No, like
I just saw that too.
no, like we were just like
It was tree
staged.
number 2.
We did have a lot of
Yeah,
people
no.
think that though when like they weren't coming to see the show and we told them that we were plants, they'd be like, "You're like on a tree on stage." Like no, like we were planted in the audience. We were staged to be there.
Didn't we give ourselves plant names?
I think so, but I don't even
I
remember
don't
at this
remember what
point.
they were. I remember Elena's. Elena's was Plante. I
Oh,
don't remember
okay.
what ours were though.
Yes, of course. I had to have y'all. I had to have lessons on how to scream because I didn't know how to scream.
Healthily. You didn't know how to scream healthily.
Yes, yeah. I guess it's. I knew how to scream like in an unhealthy way, and I knew how to scream when I was actually scared. But like when the director would point at me and be like, "Okay, I want to hear your scream," I wouldn't give a sound. Like I had to like learn how to do it. It was a yeah. I don't even know if I can do it now. Now that my voice has dropped with my transitioning, like it's a whole new
Yeah.
register.
Yeah.
Let's stay on the theme of civic, and then we'll go to high school. So I
Okay.
have this one, and I just think it's funny because if you're just like scrolling on Facebook, you're like, what the heck is happening here?
Aww. The baby battles.
Yes. So I think, I mean, maybe you remember more than me, and but if you don't, I think Susan would even describe it better of where these baby
Okay.
battles even got their start. I was,
Um, well, I know there was a thing with like us being her babies, or like, or maybe it was just whoever her TAs were at the time were her babies.
yeah. So for those that don't
I don't
know,
remember.
so I mean, when you did camp at Civic Theater, you started as like a camper, and then gradually you could work your way up to becoming a teacher assistant or a TA. So, of course, we just became so close with Susan outside of like the camp world that we just were always her TAs. Just no matter what summer it was, no matter what week it was, we were always her TAs. So she always spoiled us by like getting us surprises and like buying us dinners and like all this fun stuff. But yeah, there was like one summer the theme was like baby bottles.
Yeah. And we had pacifiers too. It was
Yes.
like a thing.
I do remember I at one point the pacifiers came into play because we had kids telling us that they still use them. And we were like, what? And
I
then it
don't
just like
remember that.
I maybe it was like the younger kids and it was like they'd bring them to camp
Yeah.
and I just like look at them and be like, what are you doing? And then
Hmm.
it became like a thing like the oldest camper had to like find their first ever pacifier and then they like bring them to camp and like be like, look, I still have this. It's like it was just a weird time. I miss
Yep.
camp.
Me too.
Your mom.
I know.
Hi, Lois.
She loves you.
I love
I
her.
Lois.
Hi, Lois. And then my all-time favorite picture from camp.
I love that picture.
Me too. It just there's so much joy in it. That's from
Yeah.
the high schooler camp, phase two.
Yes.
I just joy. I just miss camp so much. I wonder. I Do you ever think about camp? I'm like, man, what is camp today? Well, not today, but like in a normal world? What is camp? This is wild.
Um, yeah,
You're like, no
sometimes.
comment. This was so
Oh my gosh,
we
yeah.
also used to do for the theater, we used to take part in the Santa Claus Day parade right before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So that's what this was. It was always freezing cold.
It was it was so cold that day. It was so cold. Like I probably have on at least 3 layers under that coat. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It was always that one day too. Like the next day it was like nice outside, but every year it snowed and it like was just
Mhm.
gross and like under 30 degrees, and we're just like little high
Mhm.
schoolers like, want to come to camp?
Summer.
Susan said I called the kids baby diaper. That she did. She came up
She
with
did.
some wild names. It like I there's so many stories that like I want to share, but because people don't know like what it
Yeah.
was like to be in camp, like there's so many things that just wouldn't make sense. But there's so many memories that like I just want to talk about at the same time.
I know. I know.
Julie said y'all need to do an adult camp.
We should.
Did
Let's do our own.
Yes. There's definitely adult theater classes at like most theaters, but I've never heard of like an adult theater camp. That'd be a lot of fun. Because
It would be.
these camps were day camps. They weren't sleepaway camp. So like at
Mhm.
3 o'clock it'd be like, okay, go back to mom and dad. I'm done with you for the day.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine working a sleepaway camp. But yeah, like an adult like theater day camp, that'd be fun.
Mhm.
Or
That
even
would
just
be.
like a virtual one since we're in
Yeah.
quarantine. That'd be a
Yes.
fun like adventure. I guess then it
Mhm.
would just kind of be like college. Just stopped crying. Um, so because we've talked about her so much, I think we need to show some pictures of Susan.
Oh, absolutely.
So again, in the archive of photos, these are the I know that there's like a slew of like the three of us, of photos of us. Like I just know they exist. But in the time
Mhm.
that I gave myself to find photos, I couldn't find them. So I have our most recent photos together when I came to
Yes.
visit you guys, which I think are just like
Yay.
equally. But that is Susan. She is fierce. She's amazing. She used to
Yes.
run this camp that we keep talking about, and she is just a ball of light and sunshine and joy.
Mhm.
And I hope to also have her on the show at some point because y'all would die over
Yes.
her.
Yes. Best show ever.
I miss you, Susan. And then an accurate representation of our friendship is this next photo. So we
Yep.
went from that like nice posed photo to a fly coming into the frame, and that was the reaction of everyone. Me just like casually laughing, Jenna just laughing, and then Susan being horrified.
Well, what you didn't get was the between photo where I'm like this, and then you guys are like, "What?" Because it flew right into my face.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. I just what you also don't see is the man behind the camera, her husband Patrick, who also is just an amazing human. We love Patrick, and he when he takes photos, he like just like keeps clicking the button
Mhm.
because who doesn't like a good candid shot? And there's just
I know, right?
the reaction. Like if I could just like make it a small video, the reaction of this fly coming into the shot was just
Oh, my brother says, "Is Leon still there at the theater?" You know, Leon is in all of us. Whether
he
he's still
is.
in the theater doesn't really matter. He's in our hearts.
In our hearts, he is there. Hopefully, him and his family found
I
a
don't know
nice
if he's
home.
still there. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. For those that don't know, so the I wish I had a photo. So the
Yeah.
mascot, I'm gonna. I don't know. It just felt weird to keep that picture of Susan up. So the mascot of our camps was the bat that lived in the theater. Because theaters, also, if you don't know, theaters often have bats. That's just like a thing.
Yes.
And so to make children less terrified when they see a bat, you just make it the mascot of the school. And so our bat was called Leon, and it was named after. Shoot, what was he named
Oh,
after?
I don't know this.
I believe he was named after a character in a play. I want Susan to correct me if I'm wrong, because
I
I
know,
sometimes I
Susan.
mix sometimes I mix up the story with the bat that lived at my university's theater,
Oh.
but because that's how common it is. But I
Mhm.
believe Leon's story was that from a play which I don't remember the name of, but the title of the play explains the story. But it's about they're waiting for a man to come over, and he never comes over. But the man that they're waiting for is named Leon, and you never actually see him. And the first time they ever saw Leon the Bat was during that show. So it was like,
That sounds like
oh,
Waiting for Godot.
is it?
Sounds like the plot. I don't remember there being a Leon in that play.
She said you are
Patrick
correct.
says,
It was the
what was the
character's name.
character's name? Okay. I
Was
don't
it
know.
that
Maybe there is
play?
another play where they're waiting for Leon. I could be wrong.
So you are right on.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
So I worked at that camp for 9 summers. If I couldn't remember that story, I was gonna be highly disappointed in myself for working there 9 summers. That's the longest job I ever had too, and that was also I was a child. Working there for 9 summers and hearing the same story for 8 weeks of the summer. If I don't remember some of those stories by heart, still I would be saddened. So I'm glad I remembered that one. So
Yes.
the other photos I have, for the most part, are from high school. Oh, this one's not a theater one. I'm just going to show it because it's cute.
Yes.
This is from the,
Aww. It's from
um,
Pride.
yeah, it's the first time we ever went to GR Pride,
Hmm.
and it was an exciting time. This is from the Silent Shoot. For those that don't know, Silent Shoot is an amazing organization who do like bully prevention and talk about the importance of not staying silent. So they do these kind of photos at every event they go to. So this was ours. I also have photos with Jaden from when they came to Eastern. Like I have a lot from their shoots. I'm just appearing at like LGBT events.
Hmm.
What'd you do, Swan? Swanson knocked over a broom and
Swanson.
scared himself. So do I only have? I have three. So I have
Okay.
three of us, three different pictures of us from when we did theater in high school, but they're not the first shows we did.
Okay.
So I want to start with the first shows we did, and then we'll work our way to those ones.
Okay. Sounds good.
So what was your first show in high school? Because you were a grade under me.
Yeah. So my first show was just another high school play.
That's right. That was that was a weird play.
It was a
Because
weird play.
if for those that don't know that one, so it's weird. Now I'm just thinking about who was casting as who, and that was also just a riot because it was too accurate. um, but it's about these kids that are putting on a high school play, and the director goes missing,
Hmm.
and so the whole show is like, oh my god, where did the director go? And so the whole show is like these kids just throwing a play together, and they take scenes from different famous plays and like it's a spoof of them essentially,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so confusing to rehearse because the way that we cast it, I don't know if it's how it's written because I can't remember if it's how it's written, but the way we cast it is it was almost different actors for almost every scene.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
So
think it was written that way.
yeah, because I think the part of it was supposed to be the fun of it was supposed to be you're switching so quickly that it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we had in our version because it's high school and you want to include everybody. Um, we had different actors for every scene, and it was so confusing because we all rehearsed separately from each other. That
Mm-hmm.
when we watched it as a whole, we were like, "What is this show about?" So all you know is at the beginning, it's a group of kids going, "Where did the director go?" And then a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of random scenes, and then the end of the show being one of the kids going, "I stole the director because I wanted to direct it." It was like,
That's
okay.
right.
It was an
Oh
odd
man.
show. What do you remember what scene you were in? What you did in your scene?
I remember what my scene was. I don't remember what your scene was.
What was your scene?
It was me and Elijah, and we did the I don't it had like a name, but we did like the melodrama where like I was like the damsel in distress, and then he had to switch between like the hero, and he would like put like a muscle arm out, and then he was the villain, and he would have like a mustache.
Yes, I remember
Yes.
that so
Yeah.
vividly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I did two scenes, but I don't remember one of them. I know the one was like it was supposed to be a spoof off of some like sci-fi show, I think. I don't
I
know. I
don't
just remember
remember.
being like I going like I'm here now, I'm there, and you're here, and we're everywhere. Like on our side, like our lines were
Um,
like
wasn't it like it was like a spoof on like surrealism or something like that?
yes,
Yes.
that's what it was, not that realism. Yep. And then it got even worse because my scene partner, like the second show in, had passed out at school and hit her head on the bathroom sink.
I don't remember that.
Well, it's because we didn't really know each other at that point. I don't think like we weren't like that close. I think we
I
talked about
guess
that kind
so,
of stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, it was like the second night of like the show, and so she was at the hospital, and so I did the whole scene by myself. He like Mr. Breath was like ultimate surrealism. Like let's
Oh my
just
gosh.
have you just talk to yourself. And I mean, because the lines were so short and so like random, it just like I just
Mm-hmm.
had to like
It just
improv and
worked.
make it work.
Yeah, yeah.
That was then okay.
Ju-
So what?
Julie says, have either of you acted with anyone famous? Also, did you sing? No and yes. I've never acted with anyone famous.
No, negative.
Unless you count Leon Hendricks from One TV8. He was the Night of the Living Dead.
He was. He was the news reporter, and he
Although
did
no one
so
from
well.
Ipsy would know that.
Well, think of it as whoever the news reporter here is, that everyone is like, oh my gosh, it's the news reporter. Like, that's who he was.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know who it is because I haven't watched the news since I moved here because now my life is just Netflix and Hulu and they don't have the news. So,
Yeah. But for the second question, yes, we did sing, which we're gonna get to with the next show.
yeah. So, what was that year's musical?
Once
That was
on this
Once on This
island.
Island.
Yes.
Yes. And I don't even want to talk about my role in that show. That was
Okay.
that for those who want to know more about theater is a beautiful show. White people should not do it. We now know that.
No. Yeah.
But in high school, we didn't know that. And in what year was that? That would be in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I'm not going to say appropriate, but accepted for a white
Mm-hmm.
high school to do it. Now, not
Yes.
so much. I don't recommend, but I do recommend checking out the album.
Yes.
So the next year was my favorite year.
Yes. Your favorite year overall? Or this was your favorite show?
The next, I think it was it was my favorite show, but I think the two
Okay.
shows were like a good thing for
That's true.
audiences.
That's true.
While we didn't,
Sorry,
well,
I'm like getting into it.
I was gonna be like the second show that year was like an experience. It was great for like the high school because it like gave us
Yes.
money because everyone wanted to see it. So that's where I get to start to have pitches again. I think. Oh no,
Yay.
do I? Okay, that's from that show. That's from that show. I guess I don't have a picture from the fall show. That's rude.
I don't think we have one together besides like the big group one.
Yeah. So I stand corrected. I don't have a photo for that one yet. But we did my favorite play when I was in high school.
Hmm.
We did A Christmas Story,
Yes.
and it was the best time of my life. It was the first time I, and it's because I learned so much about myself without realizing it. It was the
Hmm.
first time I ever played a boy on stage,
Ah,
and
that's
I
right. I'd
played.
forgotten it was your first time playing a boy.
Mhm. Yeah, it was my
That's
first time
awesome.
playing a boy, and it was the best because all of my costumes I was actually comfortable in, and I was so like excited to wear them all the time. I never wanted to take them off, which is like that was an experience too. So yeah, but I played Randy's little brother. Or wait, no, Randy was his name. Ralphie's little brother,
Yes.
Randy.
Yes. Yeah.
So I got to
And
do
I
the
played
whole.
Esther Jane, which she doesn't really do much in the movie, but in the play, her role is a lot bigger, and she like has a crush on Ralphie and all this fun stuff. So
Yes. Um, yeah, I got to do the whole I can't put my arms down. And
iconic.
it in the play, which is different from the movie and the musical, in the play they eat breakfast instead of dinner for the little piggy scene. And so
Yes.
our director tried to make it as enjoyable as possible because what I was supposed to eat was oatmeal. And so he was like, let me make it like a fun flavor for you. And so he made it apple cinnamon, which I got sick of real quick. And just eating cold oatmeal is just not appetizing. Lukewarm oatmeal, I should say, is not
Yeah.
appetizing. And
Yeah.
stuffing your face into it was just not. And one time, our crew, it was for when we did like the preview show, our crew
Hmm.
forgot to make the oatmeal. And I was about to
That's
go on
right.
stage, and I went, "Hey, there's no oatmeal set." And they were like, "Oh my god!" And so they like ran off and then came back and put it and set it. And they go, "Just so you know, it's like a little different than usual." And I was like, "Okay." It was so watery, and they also had heated it up. So I looked at it when I went to go do my line. I looked at it and I was like, it was our first audience because it was the preview, and I went, "Okay, Riley, we're doing this." And I shoved my face in it, and I got cinnamon in my eyes. It hurt so bad.
That's right. Oh my
And
god.
I just had it was just like dripping down my face. It was just like watery and it was warm. So it was like gross feeling. And and then I'm off stage because the next scene right after I have no space in between the next scene, which was the I can't put my arms down scene. And so the crew is trying to put me in my suit and they're like, "What is happening?" I was like, "I'm sticky." Like I can't because I was just covered in cinnamon and sugar from the watery
Yeah.
oatmeal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Did you get to wear the snowsuit? Yes, that's what they couldn't get me in was the snowsuit. And it was hot. That whole
Yeah.
show takes place in winter, but boy, it was hot
It
on
was,
stage.
yeah. Well, I just wore a coat. I didn't have a full on snowsuit like you did.
Yeah. Anne-Marie also asked what was the name of the musical. I'm not sure what that was referring to.
Once on this island.
It could have been
Yeah.
Once
Because
on
we
this
talked
Island
about the
was
album. Listen to
yeah.
the album. Once on this island.
So that year, the musical, after A Christmas Story, the musical was Legally Blonde, which was the West Michigan premiere of it. And, we probably shouldn't have been to high
Yeah,
school to premiere it, but that's okay.
that's okay.
But that's where our first photo comes in.
Yay!
And this wig was atrocious. No child should ever have to wear this wig unless they're playing Annie, and even then, they shouldn't have had to wear this wig. So, why don't you say who you played first?
Okay, so I played Brooke Wyndham, which, if you know the movie, in the latter half, the team that Elle gets to be on, they defend this famous workout athletic person because she was accused of murdering her husband. So I played the athletic person, which was first for me. And so it was fun. I got to do an entire number jump roping and singing at the same time, which was interesting.
Which I'm sorry, I have to throw in there. So
Okay.
I've watched various versions of Legally Blonde at this point because now it's just like a thing at universities, at public theater, at high schools. It's like everyone's doing it. And do you know how many places pre-record that song so the person can jump rope and not have to worry about it? And the first time that I found that out, I was appalled because y'all don't even know. So this
Listen.
girl, this girl over here did the entire song like full jump rope tricks, like doing all the things. And either the person in every other show that I watched, it's either pre-recorded and she like lip syncs it, or in the part where she actually sings and it's like not the chorus singing, she just stops dancing and sings her part. And I was like, we put Jenna through torture to learn that song.
That's okay. It was fun. And now I have something to put on my resume.
Can jump rope and sing at the same time.
Never mind that it's from high school.
So I played Jenna's daughter, the
Stepdaughter.
stepdaughter, the famous murderer of the whole
Chutney.
show, Chutney Wyndham. And I only had the entire show. I was only on stage once. It was like the second to last scene. And this picture, I didn't even want to show it, but I think it's just really
You
important
don't
to
have to
show.
show it.
I want to show it because I think it's important
Okay.
that everyone has to understand what they made me wear and what wig they made me wear. Because we also lost our costumer that year. And so our director
Yeah.
brings in a mom and is like, "Can you help us?" And she's like, and listen, okay. So this is what they
Oh
made your
man.
boy wear.
Oh man.
I just can't.
And that
Everyone,
dress.
I know. So I got a lot of compliments on my acting for that show. They were like, "Wow, I've never seen like Chutney like in that way. Usually Chutney is very like anxious, and it's still that way when I watch it now. She's very anxious. She's a little bit irritable, but she's like, oh, I don't want to be caught." And I was just like, I was a bitch. I was like, listen,
You were
I didn't
done. You
do
were
it.
like, yeah, I was in the shower.
I was so over it in my walk. This dress was skin tight. I had to wear shorts underneath because it was too short.
Yeah.
And they also put me in heels that I didn't get to wear until our preview night. Like,
Nick says that dress.
girl, you're telling me. So I'm gonna, oh my goodness, time has escaped. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next show where we flipped
Yes.
and I played your mom. You were
My
my daughter.
mom. Yeah. I have a
This
love-hate
was,
relationship with this photo.
I do too. It's okay. I always wonder what they did with my hair, but
It's
this
fashionable.
what was the name of this? I know what it was about, but what was the name of it?
So it was named after a poem. It's a very famous poem. I don't remember the actual name of the poem, but the name of the play is based off of a line from that poem. It was called Enigma for Me.
Right, and then they came for me. That's what it was. That show. So yeah, it was based off of Anne Frank, and it actually tells the story around Anne Frank. Like Anne Frank's in the show, but she
Mm-hmm.
actually is a secondary character and only has a few scenes. Was it you? You were friends with Anne Frank, or was it the other?
So, oh God, I know my person's name. I don't want to say character because like they're real people too, but
That's true.
so the girl, the woman I played, Ava,
Hmm.
she knew Anne Frank. They might have been friends, but kind of the main relationship was that after the war was over, um, uh, Anne Frank's father married Ava's mother. No, or was it the other way around? Oh God,
I
I'm
remember,
terrible.
but it's starting to sound familiar. I just remember all I
No,
remember.
because Ava's father dies. Yes, yes, that's it. So Anne Frank's father married Ava's mother.
Um, the key thing that I remember from that show, which was my one of my favorite moments in theater for me as an actor, was I mean, first of all, the show's super emotional and it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. But when, since you were my daughter, when you got taken away from me, that scene, there was like one night in rehearsals that like we both like screamed when you got taken away from me. And I just like, I like, and legitimately like started crying because I was like, this is,
Mm-hmm.
and then what's happening in
There were
the,
several rehearsals where, yeah.
and then, I mean, just imagining now, like that's happening now with immigration and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's just a lot. Love your family, protect other families.
Sorry, I don't want to like make light of, what's a serious topic. But my uncle said about the picture, Riley looks like Mrs. Doubtfire.
You know, that is an accurate statement. Anne Marie asked, did they tape the mics to your face? Yes, they did. Yeah. Everyone does it different. I've learned throughout theater, everyone has different techniques. But for our high school, yes, they taped it to us.
Yeah, they were just cords. Like they didn't have like the EP or anything in the wire. It was just a cord. So we kind of had to tape them.
Yeah, otherwise it would have just been like over here,
Yeah.
chilling. So the final photo I have was why do I not have a photo from the play? Because this was the musical. What was the play? What was the play my senior year?
No, that was my senior year. Uh,
Oh wait, that was senior year. Then they came for me was a play.
yeah, that was your senior year. I was thinking about it because my senior year was different, but yes, that was
Yeah.
your senior year.
So this is
I love this picture.
me too. So this is my last show in high school, and this was working the musical,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually had some really. I mean, being older now, it had some really nice moments to it. Where I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I wish as a high schooler I would have appreciated this, and I can now see like why our director picked it. But like as a high
Yeah.
schooler, I was like, what is this show? I think it's definitely context wise. I think it's better for college students. It's a
That's
show.
probably true. Yeah.
If for those that don't know, it's about like the working class, and basically just everyday jobs. There's like a whole. We're short on time, but there's a book about it, and that's how it became a musical. He interviewed Stud Terkel, interviewed people, and made it a thing. And everyday people in America is what it's basically about. All different walks of life. My
Mm-hmm.
role was a stay-at-home mother. I was a housewife.
Yes. And my role, I was a waitress, but she was very dramatic in nature, so she liked to make her job exciting by pretending to be like in ballets and things like that. The number was really fun, but yeah.
Your number was fun. I was always very jealous of your number.
Oh.
I think too because
Well, that was
they
also
like
the year I got bronchitis. So I sang the entire run with bronchitis. So that was not fun. But the number was fun.
I know too I was also jealous because it was my senior year and he made my song a duet. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
again, being like where I'm at in life, I can totally respect like the duet choice that he made. So what he did was a 1950s housewife versus a modern day housewife, and I was a modern day, um, hence why I got to cut my hair in that way and also just wear like a robe. Um, and the song, I mean, the song is very real. Like, so the 1950s housewife, the way he had to portray it was like she was totally into being a housewife and a stay-at-home mom. She was like, I love this. And my modern day housewife character was like, I hate this.
Hmm.
So it was very interesting. Again, looking back at it, I'm like, wow, that was actually kind of genius. But in high school, I was like, who's a housewife? So, so yeah, that was Jenna and I's history in kind of a nutshell
Yeah.
ish. Did you have a good time, Jenna?
I did, yes. And before I forget, I have a birthday present for you. So I wanted to show it. And it kind of is a good summary of this episode. Um, but I got you this shirt.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Isn't that cool?
That is so
Oh
cool.
yeah. So eventually, when we see each other again, I'll give it to you officially for your birthday. But
Oh, thank you. I
yeah,
love that.
because you're
I
a
love
theater
you.
kid. I love you too. Happy
And
birthday.
thank you. Oh my goodness. That just made my whole well, this episode made my whole night actually. But that just you're so sweet. I love you. Also, thank you to those who have also sent me things as well. I've received a couple of birthday things in the mail this week, so I'm appreciative of everyone who watches and who's on the show. And thank you, Jenna, for joining me.
Of course. It was so much fun.
We'll definitely we'll have to do it again sometime with Susan.
Yes,
That'd be a fun time.
it would be.
All right, Boo. I'm gonna wrap up the show. Tell people about what's happening this weekend, and
Good.
I will talk to you after the show. Okay?
Yay! Talk to you after the show. Bye,
All right.
guys.
Bye, Jenna. All right, also my buddy Jenna. I love her. Um, I know what time it is, so I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. So this Friday, we have my birthday bingo show, which I'm super excited for. We're doing Broadway Cares, very fitting for today's theme. And if you don't know, they do advocacy fighting against AIDS and HIV. They help with funding. They help with all sorts of things. I could go into more, but time. So I definitely recommend that you check them out, look them up, see what they're all about, and also buy a ticket to Friday's Bingo, which I put the link in the comment section of the Facebook watch party that you're watching. So definitely buy a ticket. Come celebrate virtually my birthday with me and Jaden. We're doing things a little different this week. So it's also going to be fun because it's just going to be kind of new. So we're excited. We don't have our family friendly show this week. Some stuff came up that we're not able to do it like regular, but we are still going to have some stuff for you to watch on Saturday. So make sure you check out our channel on Saturday. Other than that, I hope you all have an amazing week, and I hope tonight made you feel better a little bit. It definitely made me feel a lot better. Um, yeah, I'm full of warm fuzzies. It's been a very, very rough week in this household, so I'm full of fuzzies now. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I better see you on Friday to celebrate my birthday. Have a great week. Bye, guys.